evening, everybody. Good evening, Joe, and welcome.
Evening, Pat.
And welcome along to this edition of SportsView on Monday, the 13th of April. And there's only one sports story in the news from our point of view here on this side of the world. It's the Masters. But we'll be covering a lot more than the Masters in the show tonight. And the phone numbers and the contact numbers are on the bottom of our screen. We're going live on, where are we, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. So you can have as many comments as you like into the studio. And it's on the golf or anything sporting, it doesn't matter. We are here to oblige. Now, we will just, and Derwin will be joining us later on. I got a note from Derwin, so Derwin will be in later on for us. I think an awful lot of people, including myself, Tiger Woods was at the Masters. Now, blink and you might miss it, but I think a lot of people missed his.
I wonder when Tiger Woods will show up.
Should be any minute now.
Stay back, security's coming.
No, that's the excuse video on
Terrible.
on the show tonight, you know. But anyway, we wish him well, and we hope he gets better and he'll be able to arrive in better shape next year. But you know, that was just a bit of fun on the morning. That's it. But I didn't realize reading about Rory McIlroy. You think you'd know everything about a person, you know. But Rory McIlroy is an only child. I didn't realize that till last night, you know. And he's caddy. He knows his caddy a long, long time. And he described his caddy as the big brother he never had. And that, you could see the way they embrace each other. You know, there is a trust between them, you know, which is pretty unique, you know. And it's very good. And as we know, he won the Masters last night, and a -12 for the second year in a row. He's going for a third next year. It has never been done before. If you're a gambling man, I'm not saying we should gamble. The price on Rory McIlroy to win the 3 in a row, wait for it, is 7-1. So there you go now. They're comfortable. I mean, I hope he stays healthy, and I hope he stays playing good golf. The disappointment for me was Shane Lowry's disasters last round of a round of 80 from a position of being in to make an attempt to win it, you know. It would have been a fantastic achievement for Rory McIlroy to put the green jacket on Shane Lowry, you know. Can you imagine the celebrations then?
Oh, yeah. I was, at the start of the day, I was kind of, I was hoping that it might happen, that we might see on the leaderboard the two of them tied at the top, or first and second, whatever.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
No, and this has happened, Shane, a few times already, you know. And we don't want to be commenting too much on anybody, you know. I mean, there's nobody as disappointed as Shane Lowry is. I know that, you know. I have to give you the good lash for 3 rounds, but we saw it before, you know. And I don't know, is it down to mental toughness or fitness? I don't know what it is, you know.
Well, I think it's a lot of things, you know. I mean, there's a lot. I looked at that field yesterday. There's a lot of great players that are way down there. You know,
yeah.
People that have won majors and what have you, and so you know, and some of them even missed the cut. So it's
Yeah, one of the golfers that I fancied was Bryson DeChambeau. He missed the cut, you know, and it doesn't take away from the fact that he's still a great golfer, you know.
Right, and it's, you know, some people, it takes them forever. I mean, Shane has already won one major. You know, there's that in itself is a huge achievement.
Sorry, Joe, I must say that Leeds United have just gone ahead against Manchester United after 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's plenty of time left.
That's the last Premier League match of the weekend, Manchester United versus Leeds. It's a very important match for both sides for different reasons. Leeds to consolidate their place in the Premiership, and United to make further advances up the table. Anyway, it's 1-0 to Leeds. A disaster to back. Harry Maguire is suspended for the match. He's not playing. You can see there on the back four. Martinez is back instead of him. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that for the rest of the night, Joe. Soccer during the week, Real Madrid and Munich played a cracking match in the European Cup, and Bayern Munich came away from the from Real Madrid 2-1 winners, and the return leg is on. When is the return leg on? It's on Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday for that one, I think. Yeah.
And then Sporting Lisbon lost 1-0 at home to Arsenal, so they're taking a standard 1-0 lead going into the leg. And also Barcelona lost 2-0 at home to Atletico Madrid. And PSG beat Liverpool 2-0. Now, did you see that match, Joe? But I was watching it.
Yeah.
It should have been 10-0, you know?
Liverpool were soundly beaten in that match.
Good evening, Darwin, and welcome.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Darwin, how are you?
We have an exclusive here now. We've got to put it on again for Darwin. He doesn't know about it, Joe.
Right, he needs to see it.
Yeah, he does. We have an exclusive here for you for a visitor at the Masters.
His year again.
I wonder when Tiger Woods will show up. Could be any minute now. Stay back, security's coming.
Very good.
That's terrible.
I know. We wish him the best luck.
Taking a man when he's down.
I know, yeah. But we're just the PSG have taken a 2-0 lead against Liverpool in the European Cup, and it could have been a lot more serious for Liverpool. Did you see the match during the week in Europe in the European Cup? And they only beat him 2-0, but it could have been more, Joe.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was like men against boys.
Yeah, it was embarrassing to watch.
It was one of those ones where you kind of felt like PSG took their foot off the gas. You know, I mean, if they'd really gone, I think, all out for the 90 minutes, it could have been very, very embarrassing for Liverpool. The way that Liverpool were set up was, and how PSG exploited it. I mean, both Konate and Virgil van Dijk were just totally pulled out of positions.
They were embarrassed.
Yeah, but I think it was the way that they were making them play. They were having to push into midfield, and they can't go into midfield and be picking people up because they're not mobile enough to be getting back anymore, and they weren't covering each other, you know. So it was. It was. I mean, tactically from the start, I thought it was a poor decision to go with three at the back and really no real pace there.
No mobility. No mobility.
So yeah, I think that to be very fair, I think they were fortunate to get out of their 2-0 and to still be in the tie when it goes back to Anfield on Wednesday.
And if they score first in Anfield, Liverpool, I mean they're back in the tie, and you know, and very, very lucky. In the Premiership over the weekend, West Ham beat Wolves 4-0. Arsenal lost 2-1 to Bournemouth. Brentford drew 2-2 with Everton. And Burnley lost to Brighton 2-0. Liverpool beat Fulham 2-0. And Crystal Palace beat Newcastle 2-1. So, where else? Aston Villa drew with Forest 1-1. That was a good draw for Forest. Spurs were beaten 1-0 by Sunderland. Man City cruised past Chelsea 3-0. They're playing Arsenal next Saturday, isn't it? Next Sunday.
It's a massive game Sunday, isn't it?
Man City.
Yeah,
Man City should win that 4 or 5-0, in my opinion.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I really think this has kind of got the makings of Pizzagate all over again. when Arsenal went to Old Trafford and won 1-0 that time, and there was fighting in the locker rooms afterwards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But this is a game of the same kind of magnitude for them. In
absolutely.
that I think the one thing that Arsenal can't have happen is they can't lose. If they
Yes,
lose to this, then they they've already opened the door to City, because City have the advantage now, being at home at the
yeah,
weekend. And
yeah,
if they lose in that, then it's totally in City's hands. It really doesn't matter what Arsenal do. All that can happen there now is that City will lose it. Arsenal won't win it,
yeah.
just by everything that's gone on.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
City've got momentum now, haven't they?
yeah, they really do, and they look
So
Last,
very comfortable with.
their team seems to have gelled together.
Yes, yeah,
Seem to have
Arsenal
the
look
team
so
together.
negative, don't they?
Hmm?
Arsenal look negative, don't they? That as a bunch of blokes, they don't look like they're buzzing, do they?
no,
No,
no, they
no.
don't. They don't look convincing,
No.
and they look they look tentative. And I mean, at the weekend, although to be fair, we shouldn't be surprised that Bournemouth beat them at the weekend, because Bournemouth beat them uh, at their place at Arsenal last year, 2-1. You
Yeah.
know, it was the first time in their history doing it. But Bournemouth are a very useful team, and they could have scored a couple of more goals.
They are fairly good, you know. They are
Yeah,
fairly
but
good.
everything about Arsenal now just seems to be hurried in the attack. On the defensive side of it, they don't seem to be urgent enough.
It
And
looks
in midfield, they've lost their domination of possession.
it looks panicky.
Where, sorry, Darren,
It looks panicky.
it does. It looks like they're they've
I
got a
get the
little bit of a confidence crisis going on, I think.
yeah, they
Yeah.
slipped into a slump, haven't they? And they look
Yeah.
negative, and you can see that they look just edgy, don't they?
Well, I was thinking about it after the game, after I watched it, and I'm just thinking to myself, are Arsenal going to concentrate so much on the Champions League that they are focusing on that at the expense of the league, or are they going to fall between two stools, and end up with nothing?
I think their priority would be the domestic league, you know, that would be,
I would imagine that it has to be, because if
should
they
be.
don't win it this year, after everything that they did in the beginning, then you'd have to ask, what are the people upstairs thinking about this? I mean, everyone says that Liverpool spent a ton of money last year in the transfer market, but so did Arsenal.
They did.
And
They both,
Arsenal spent
they
money
both did.
on their squad, on deepening their squad. So
Um,
there's the depth of squad now is not an excuse for them.
no, it's not, but Liverpool, the signings haven't worked out, you know.
No, they haven't worked out yet. That doesn't
Worked
mean
out
that
by,
they're
by a long shot.
no, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to work out for them. But
Yeah,
but Liverpool, themselves, they have a whole list of things that they've got to take care of,
that's
both
true.
at the back and in midfield.
And up in Scotland, funny neighbours, Celtic had a 1-0 win over St Mirren, and Hearts had a 3-1 win over Motherwell, and Rangers won 6-3 at Falkirk in the Premiership. So there's no change at the top. It's still Hearts, Celtic, and Rangers. So that's spicing up nicely, bubbling up nicely. Grimsby won 3-2 at home, Joe, against
Yeah,
Crewe. So they're back into the playoff positions. And Bonnie Rose, our favourite team here, drew 2-2 with Broxborough Athletic. I don't know who they are, but we'll find out sometime soon. I had no time to look them up, but they got a 2-all draw. Now, we'll just there. Yes, on Tuesday night, Atletico Madrid are taking a 2-0 lead to Barcelona. Will they hold on? Do you think?
I think that would be a tight one.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that they were. I think they were pretty fortunate that Barca went down to 10 men.
Yeah,
And the thing I don't understand, right, in the whole scheme of things. So the goalkeeper takes a goal kick, he passes it to a guy standing 5 yards away from him in the penalty area. The guy puts his hand on the ball, stops it.
yeah.
But when the goalkeeper played the ball's in play. Now, there was a person, and this is where when I respect officials a lot, but there's times when you go and you ask yourself, how many times are you going to talk out two sides of your mouth here?
Yeah.
Because one official who was not in charge of the game said, well, it's not the spirit of the law. Well, the law is if you handle the ball in the middle of the box, it's a penalty.
Well, it is, yeah. It's cut and drive.
Right. So why is it not a penalty?
Nobody could explain that.
So if I take a free kick in the middle of the field, right, and I pass it to you, Darwin, you put your hand on the ball and stop it. What's the referee going to give?
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be a free kick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a free kick, right? So what? I don't understand how they can say 1 minute. Well, it happened with Arsenal, and there's a penalty given against them. Well, that was different. How is it different? It's the same thing.
And how can you say it's not in the spirit of the game? I mean, what definition is that? Because you could have two different versions of. I mean, you've only got to look at the Masters on Saturday night with Sam Burns and Rory.
Yeah.
They're having a ding dong amongst themselves verbally. That's not in the spirit of the game, is it?
But no, it's not. I missed that one. What happened there?
There was some comments being made by Burns about some of his kit and stuff like that, and
Burns was 100% out of order.
Yeah, I mean they're now talking about these whoop bands. You know, you wear.
Yeah.
That it's quite easy if you're wearing one of those in the heat of battle that someone could, you know, when you walk into the next tee, somebody could be looking at your app on your phone, going, you need to calm down a bit. Your heart rate's going through the roof. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, oh, come on. I mean, if you got a decent caddy on your bag, the caddy knows when you.
Well, of course, McIlroy gave Burns his answer. In the best possible manner.
A bit sort of, you know, I don't know what the word tetchy, I suppose. I don't know.
Will Justin Rose ever win the green jacket?
I'd probably say no, because I think he's got close twice and not got across the line.
Yeah.
I mean, look, anything can happen, can't it? I mean, you know, halfway through that round there, that middle third, shall we say, McIlroy did not look too good, did he?
No, and that's when I thought that McIlroy was at his most vulnerable right there.
Yeah.
When Justin Rose turned the corner, went from 10 and 11, when he went to, what was it? He went to 12 under.
12, yeah.
But McIlroy
is way too consistent now to be caught. And then all of a sudden, it just went sideways on him.
Yeah.
McIlroy.
If you look at that middle third, so those holes between sort of 7 to 13, 14.
Yeah,
You look at that, you'd stand there and go, right, Cameron Young's putter went cold on him at the same
Yeah.
time.
yeah,
And then Rose kind of, I nearly want to say, got a bit defensive and started trying to protect his score rather than make the score again.
Yeah.
And
and now he collapsed.
sort of went, let's sit tight. What did he went 3 or 4 up, didn't he, at one stage?
Yeah,
Who? Rose?
Rose.
I think he went 2 up. It was 2 or 3, I think, was the most, and then it got pulled back.
yeah.
So you got to sit there and kind of go, yeah, he took his foot off the pedal a bit, and
Yeah.
Young's putter went cold, and McIlroy got back in the driving seat, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I also think Young, his luck changed a little bit because he'd been very fortunate on the Saturday where he'd gone deep into the trees and hit hard, and all of a sudden it shoots back out into the middle of the fairway, and then on Sunday the same thing happened to him again.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, oh God, is it going to be like this all day long then for him?
Look at the Irish.
That McIlroy can't buy a break, and then he's getting breaks all over the place. But I thought it was just I thought it was interesting. The way was his name came back on the Scheffler.
Yeah.
Came back and unfortunately that what was it, the shot at 17 that rolled back off the green that kind of took all the wind
Yeah,
out of his
I was cheering at that stage. I was cheering at that stage.
Yeah.
He kind of ran out of holes a little bit, Scheffler.
He did,
I think he's a bit of a colourless character, Scheffler.
I think he's you're very, I nearly want to say non-American, because he's not very sort of pumping his arms and
No,
big yahoos, does he?
no.
I think he's quite like, I mean, he is different from the rest of me.
The player I missed the last 2 days was Bryson DeChambeau, but he's not more demonstrative on the course, you know. And I missed his humour going around the course on the Saturday and Sunday, you know. He missed the course, as we know. But
I mean, I think
I would ask you a question, Darwin. The Live Golf one that's happening in England is on the JCB Golf and Country Club.
Yeah.
Woodseed. Do you know anything about that place?
Yeah. I mean, it's owned by the Bamford family, as in JCB.
Yeah.
So the factory's just down the road from the golf club. But I mean, it's got one hole as a feature hole, which it's got 17 very ordinary holes and one hole that you look at it and go, wow, it's a bit. What's the right way of phrasing it?
Is it a good
mouse in some ways?
Is it a good viewing course for punters?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it isn't too bad. But Live again with the shotgun starts, that helps anybody going to watch a Live event, because you can sit by the fifth tee and watch everybody. Yeah,
watch everybody, and you don't have to be running around. But where is it? Uttoxeter, is it?
Yeah, it's up in the Midlands.
Yeah,
it's not a great place. I mean, it's got one hole, which is it's built round one hole, which is a par 3, and it's
only £23 to go in.
Yeah, well, Live Golf again. They treat it all differently to all the other. But again, the Masters is cheap once you're in, once you've got a ticket.
How much is the ticket?
I think the tickets for the Masters is only about $50. It's not a lot of money, because they make their money from the TV. They're not interested in.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you can buy a sandwich, or you can buy.
Would somebody email Ewan Murray and tell him that it's a game of golf on a golf course we're watching? We're not watching the symphony orchestra playing in a church, in a big Anglican church, you know.
I think the problem with it, Pat, is that
I mean, Ewan Murray goes on, we're in this sacred place.
yeah,
I
they
mean,
got
this is Codswallop.
so the Masters have got a load of rules. I mean, that years and years ago, Ralph Ralph Maltby, who was one of CBS or commentators, who was a good
Yeah,
player himself. I think he won a US Open himself.
yeah.
But he was famous for being a really good commentator, and he was a little bit like Peter Alice. He would say funny things and different things. And he got
Who was
banned.
that? Roger Maltby?
Yeah, Roger Maltby, not Ralph Maltby. Roger Maltby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got sacked by CBS because he made a comment about the greens at Augusta, and Augusta said to CBS, "We're not having that. Sorry, he's not allowed back here ever again." And he said the greens are so fast, you think there was sex wax put on them to make them fast. And they didn't. They took umbrage to that. Now, if you're in the TV media stuff, like for argument's sake, if the three of us had media tickets through LIR Media, for argument's
Yeah,
sake, to go and
yeah,
cover the
yeah.
Boston, there is a whole booklet that comes out of what you can say and what you can't say.
Go here.
Yeah. They predetermine what basically is being said on the TV. So
We'd
when
last 5 minutes, and
well,
then some.
allegedly,
if we
would
were
last
lucky.
5 minutes. um, so they kind of they dictate what you can say in reality and what you can do and what you can't do. And they if you listen to any of them, if you listen to Ian Baker Finch, if you listen to in the old days with Tom Weiskopf, Joe over there doing the commentating, they wax lyrical about Augusta. It's this, it's that, it's the cathedral of golf, it's this hallowed ground, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. But it's because they have to. They can't. They're not allowed to say what they probably really want to say.
Right.
But it's Augusta. Augusta makes their own rules. I mean, it's
Yeah.
they literally can. Remember, it's an invite. You don't. You could be in the top 50. Doesn't mean you're going to be playing. It's an invite from Augusta. It's not. It's not some given right that you're going to go and play.
But
so McIntyre mightn't get an invite next year.
I don't think he'll be coming along next year. But again, it's like that. We sit here and I find it fascinating because it's the only golf tournament that makes its own rules, where the PGA Tour and the European Tour and the RNA and everybody else has to listen to. As in, it's as simple as that. It's Augusta. You're doing it our way or don't come.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were pressurised when Liv started to not invite Liv players who had been past winners or were in the top 25. If you're in the top 25, you're invited back the following year. But you're invited back. It doesn't mean you're coming back. You're invited back. So if you don't get your invite, you're not there.
I see. And so it's how many golfers are invited in the beginning? Is it 120?
No, I think I want to say it's something like 90, 80 or 90 players.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a massive field or anything.
No, it's not a very big field.
But they earn. I mean,
they still take an awful long time to go around. An awful long time.
Do you know what's fascinating about it as well? Is that I was looking at it this week. That golf course has gone from about 6,500 yards to nearly 7,600.
Yeah.
And that first hole is now nearly 470 yards. When Nicholas was in his heyday, that was something like a 400-yard par 4.
Yeah.
And it's sneaky lengthening all the time. It's getting longer and longer and longer.
Probably because of technology and the advances in the ball and all that.
Yeah, it is to do that. But again, it sneaks up on you because you don't.
It does.
You don't notice it because they're so good at doing it. That's the difference.
So, Justin Rose has played 84 rounds in the Masters round. 84, I think, in the Masters.
It
So
would
you
be
would think,
nice to see him win it, but I think he's come close twice now.
yes, yeah. Anyway,
How old was Mark O'Meara when he won it?
I think O'Meara would have been in his early 40s when he won it.
he would.
Because he's the oldest one that won it, right?
No, Nicholas is the oldest one.
Nicholas in 1986.
Yeah, Nicholas. I think Nicholas was in
50.
way into his late 50s. I think.
Really?
You are
Yeah, he was.
Interesting.
1986.
Yeah, but I
Well,
mean
40 years ago.
that fell so right for Nicholas because Seve dumped it in the water at 15.
Yeah. I remember
Nicholas
that.
holds that birdie putt on 17 at the same time as Seve dumps it in the water at 15, and it was like, it was brilliant.
How do you go from shooting 68 to 80?
Easily round there.
Yeah.
You've only
But,
got it.
but you made a fair point, Darren. I'm not an expert in golf, but I think the greens are lightning fast.
They're not just quick. They are the fastest greens you'll ever play on.
Yeah.
And they're not flat. That's
No.
you've got there. If you ever get the chance to go, you won't believe how hilly the place is and how undulating the greens are. They've got swings on those greens that are. You can have. There's a famous putt Langer when he won one year. He had his back to the hole.
Yeah.
You're talking about the ball doing a U-turn from his putter.
Yeah.
To get to the hole, and until you've seen it, some of those putts are impossible.
Can imagine the Irish Open would be sold out now with McIlroy appearing in it.
Yeah, can you imagine how much they're going to have to pay for him to get there too?
Yeah, I think they factored that in to the beginning. Go on.
As a golf fan, you'd have to sit there and go, it is a good job the Masters is that first major because it's pretty, it looks great on TV, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And I think it tees up the golf season, doesn't it? Because COVID was on and they held it in November. It was the last major of the year that during COVID. And that it wasn't as pretty. None of the flowers were out. They'd all gone.
No, gone away for the winter.
Yeah. So again, you I don't know. The Masters is a special place. It is a lot of hype about the place. It's and they help create it. The Augusta itself creates it too.
It must be a massive industry to the whole area.
Yeah, Augusta itself is just a truck stop. There's nothing in Augusta other than a Hooters, massive car park for truck drivers. Yeah. But then there's probably the most exclusive golf club in the world in the middle of the dual carriageway outside the grounds.
Yeah.
Augusta itself is there's no reason to go to Augusta. You drive through Augusta if you're a lorry driver.
No, there was other bits and pieces over the weekend. Tyson Fury made his comeback in a waltzing competition in Saturday night. In this fight, he won 12 rounds with Maninoff, a boxer that you thought that you needed your head to lead with your head for the whole 12 rounds. Anyway, Fury won that unanimously. And Nigel Benn won his fight as well. Unanimously went the full distance. In the Aintree Grand National was on over the weekend as well. And I am Maximus for for Willie Mullins, trained and owned by J.P. McManus here in Limerick. It won, and that was Willie Mullins' third year in a row winning the Grand National. He emanated defeat of Vincent O'Brien in the 50s. That's just a little bit of history there, you know. And in the Monte Carlo Masters, which is a big clay tournament, the Doper Center won again. He beat Alcaraz 7-6, 6-3.
Allegedly.
Well, it's not allegedly at all. It was factually. And rugby, the European Cup is coming down to the last four. And over the weekend in the Champions Cup, Bath beat Northampton 43-41. Leinster beat Sale 43-13. Glasgow beat Toulon. Oh no, they lost to Toulon 19-22. And in a cracking match, I saw a bit of it. Bordeaux beat Toulouse 30-15. You know Biel Barry, the winger, plays with Bordeaux, the probably top class player in the Six Nations Championship. So they're down to the last four: Bath, Leinster, Toulon, and Bordeaux. They're the last four in the Championship. In the Challenge Cup, Ulster beat La Rochelle 41-24, and Dragons beat Zebra 37-32. Benetton lost to Exeter 44-41, and Connacht lost to Montpellier 45-22. So you have Montpellier, Ulster, Dragons, and Exeter in the last four of the Challenge Cup. As you know,
Do you want to watch a good game of rugby? Watch the second half of Bath Northampton.
We're good.
That's one of the best second halves of rugby you'll ever watch.
I forgot to mention, and it's a genuine reason. I did forget to write it down, but I was aware that the women's Six Nations rugby started over the weekend. In England hosted Ireland in Twickenham. England had their win. Was it 33-12? Was it? Off the top of my head, I think it was 33-12. They have 2 or 3 players who are as good as any men playing rugby. Their handling and their athleticism, I must say, they're number 9 or 10, number 10, and the winger with the fuzzy hair. She's very good. There's some very good players on the English team. And Ireland, France had the win over Italy, and Ireland will be playing Italy next Saturday in Dublin. So we wish them well. Anyway, that was the rugby. The golf. Now Rory McIlroy, we mentioned top of the finisher minus 12, 67, 65, 73, and 71. Lowry finished at minus 2 in the end. Shane Lowry. 70, 69, 68, and 80. So that was tough, very tough. He won $178,000 for his 35th place, I think, or something like that. McIlroy won $4.5 million. But the live golfers are playing for that purse every tournament.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
It's astonishing. If you won 3 or 4 live golf events in the year, you'd win 12 million. And if you were on the team and they won as well, you'd win another 2 million. It's astonishing money. It's astonishing money, you know. What's his name? Oh yeah, I have a piece here. I wanted to play for it.
3-6. Really good. Come on, Shaq. Right at it, baby. Lowry. Hole-in-one. How about that? I bet he gives it away.
That was Shane's hole-in-one. Remember that?
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah.
That was Saturday.
This is our young prodigy, Alex. Rory McIlroy, 16 years of age, and he's only just turned 16 in the last 2 weeks. This is for a par. And that is very impressive because he got his first professional outing last week at the Forest of Arden. He's a young amateur sensation, but didn't go quite his way, but he's certainly proving that he can take them on at the moment. And Dennis, I was talking to Alex about this young lad, Rory McIlroy from Hollywood in County Down, Irish boys champion and Irish youths champion, and recently the West of Ireland amateur champion. Just turned 16, and he's having a fine round today at level par.
Very, very good.
He's got one of his Irish boys team colleagues, Harry Diamond, who also comes from Hollywood as well, caddying for him.
Just to get to under par. Now there is a boy's stroke. Completely confident, bang. No expectations of missing it at all. Well done.
Yes, he's being coached since he took up the game by Michael Bannon, who's the pro up there in Hollywood. Let's have another look at young Rory. Dennis, you liked his putting stroke. What do you make of his swing here as he approaches the 16th, the par 4, this little dog leg?
Beautifully comfortable, the setup. Nothing wrong with the shot. I'm not going to say anything about that. It did look a little shot at the top, but not serious.
But here's one man who is getting some headlines. Rory McIlroy with a birdie attempt on the 16th, and he's left that quite a bit short. And Dennis was talking about his magnificent putting stroke and the confidence of youth. We'll hopefully see an example of that very shortly.
Here we go then. Let's stay at 1 under. Unlucky 3-putt. That really was a shame.
He's got a cool head on his shoulders, I'll tell you that much, Rory McIlroy, so he'll tap that in for a disappointing bogey. So 3 stabbing the 16th, also on 1 under. And Rory McIlroy, who was 1 under for a stretch, but 3 putted the 16th. He has another opportunity to get it back, and that's quite a tee shot on the par 3.
And that's more like the putting stroke read. So really it was a strange 3-putt. It was such a positive putt on the previous green, then a very tentative first putt at 16 after a good second shot, and promptly back with a birdie, and that shows good qualities. Every chance of the youngster birdie in the final hole in a round of 70, just 2 off the lead, is quite brilliant.
That was young Rory McIlroy there for our viewers this evening. He was 16 years of age there. And looking at his swing there, Darwin, it's still the same, more or less. Isn't it?
Out a bit now, isn't he?
I mean, at 16 years of age. Anyway, that was Rory. By the way, any Man United fans, you can look away now. Just 2-0 to Leeds. After 43 minutes, 2-0.
Tell me you're joking.
Huh? No, it's 2-0 to Leeds.
Oh, God. That's Carrick gone then.
Arsenal on top of the league at 70 points. Man City at 64. Man United at 55. Villa 55. Liverpool 52. Chelsea 48 and Brentford 47. In the Championship, Coventry City 87. Ipswich Town had a very, very good end to the season, I must say. 75. Millwall 73. Come on, Millwall. And Middlesbrough 72. Southampton 69. Hull City 68. And Wrexham just outside the playoffs at 64. So they need to win maybe 3 out of the last 4, I would say. At the bottom of the Premiership, Wolves are on 17 points. Burnley on 20. Spurs on 30. West Ham on 32. Fulham on 32. And Leeds on 33. But if you hold on, they'll be on 36 after tonight. So they're making serious inroads to stay up. But that is a disaster at Old Trafford, Darwin, for Man United. To be 2-0 down at half time.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
It's not a good look at all, you know.
I
But
mean,
Leeds
what's going on at Spurs?
huh?
What on earth is happening at Tottenham?
Well, I mean, you were saying, well, the big fight was on the stadium over the weekend with Fury,
Yeah.
sort out, and did some undercard. But I think that I think they'll go down.
They got like 6 games left, is it?
Yeah, I think 6. Yeah,
Is it 6?
yeah.
Football tables. Let's see now. They have 38. Yeah, they have 6 games left, and they have 30 points. I don't know who they're playing now in those 6 games, so I don't know what that will be now.
I think they've got a couple of big ones, haven't they? Big matches, I think.
Forest got a result the weekend.
They did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched that. But I mean, let's be very honest here. You look at Spurs with all the money they've spent over the years, right? How many of their squad or how many of their starting players would make it in any of the top 6 teams in the Premier League? Would be regular starters.
yeah. I think when they sold Harry Kane, I know we're looking in retrospect now, but a player like him does make a difference to a club. I'm not saying one man will carry the team on his back, but Harry Kane was a huge, huge loss. Huge loss.
I think.
Oh, he was a huge loss. He was. I mean, he was. I mean, let's be very honest. A guy like Harry Kane is worth 15 to 20 goals a season.
Yeah.
So that you turn that into points, and they're halfway up the table, if not further. So I just think that the history, and it's the Daniel Levy legacy, if you like. They're always buying players that none of the other top clubs seem to be interested in.
Oh yeah.
And they always seem to be looking for a bargain of that he'll work for us and what have you. And it's not gonna work for you in the Premier League if you're going to be successful. I mean, the best team they had and the best chance they had was when they lost in the Champions League final to Liverpool. They had a chance to build on that, and they didn't take that.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was down to good recruitment and Pochettino having a good say in what was going on. But then, after the Champions League, and they just they didn't kick on.
I think losing Modric is a massive.
Well, yeah, but that shows you the standard of what you're allowing go.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they don't replace him, do they?
Yeah, no. But just think about how difficult it is to replace somebody like Modric.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
But if you think
he was a brilliant player.
Joe, they lose Modric, they lose Son, they lose Kane. I mean, they lose Bale.
Yeah.
I mean, you are talking about world-class players there.
Yeah, you're talking about top players.
They've been replaced by what I call misfits.
Well, hang on a second. So look where they went, right? The players that we just talked about there. They lost Kane, they lost Modric, they lost Bale. Was there anybody else that we said that they lost, let go? So two of them go to Real Madrid. One of them goes to Bayern Munich.
Song.
And Song they let go. They keep him, and then they're losing to the US.
Did he go to Saudi Arabia? Did he?
No, he went over to. Didn't he go to Los Angeles?
Yeah, he
Isn't
went
he
to
in-
LA.
Yeah, he's in LA. Yeah,
But they moved him. They moved him out of position, didn't they?
yeah, yeah,
They played him for at least 2 seasons, if not
Yeah.
more, out of position, didn't they?
yeah.
You know, he supplied Kane, didn't he?
He did. He
Yeah.
did.
It wasn't Kane supplying Son, was it?
No, no. I mean, well, every team. I mean, even Man United got relegated now and again. But I think that I think it's something that the club needs. It's a terrible thing to say. They don't need to be relegated, but they will be relegated if they keep going the way they are. And it will be a very tough year in the championship for them because there's some decent teams in the championship, you know, and this is a very competitive league. So it won't be a question of going down and coming up next year, you know. I don't
In
think
some
it will.
ways, it might be a blessing in disguise if they did go down, isn't it?
When you look at the facilities that they have, you look at their stadium, look at the facilities they have. They don't have any excuse for being at the top table, so to speak.
The stadium's well, I'd probably say the stadium is better than Wembley.
Yeah.
So if they go down, right? How does the PSR work for them?
As in, what, the parachute payment?
Well, yeah, but they're spending
Yeah, that would be a massive.
because I'm not sure if I read last week it was them or not, but they don't have any relegation payments in their contracts.
No.
I know where you're coming from, Joe.
Yeah, so all these guys are going down and they're all on the same money.
Yeah.
Yet now, Leicester City go down and they're docked 6 points because they spent too much in the last year in the Prem. I don't know how that happens and how I'm still trying to figure out how.
But if you have a contract with
Chelsea can get
Spurs,
away with what they're doing
if
without.
you have a contract with Spurs for 200 grand a week,
I'm sorry, what's that, Pat?
if you have a contract with Spurs for 200 grand a week and you're relegated, there's nobody going to give back half of it.
No, not if it's not in your contract.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, if they go down, half that team's going to disappear, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Oh, they're going to be sold off.
Yeah.
And it's and you know sometimes that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get rid of it. There's so much dead wood there.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Richarlison to me looks like he's a spent force now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
Who?
he's not the player he was at one time.
Oh no, he looked absolutely appalling. His attitude on the pitch is appalling now.
Yeah.
Calls over the ref every tackle to get the man to, you know.
He was probably the one of the ones that was at fault for the goal at Sunderland at the weekend. Terrible attempt at a tackle, and lets the guy cut inside and goes in and shoots. And unfortunately for Porro, it deflects off of him past the goalkeeper and what have you. But can you imagine him, Richarlison, in the championship?
I didn't see anybody on the sports team Saturday that would fill you with hope that they could stay up, you know.
No. I mean, even Conor Gallagher that they signed from Atletico Madrid doesn't look anywhere near the player he looked at at Chelsea when he was there and then went to Atletico. Their captain now, I see that he has a knee injury and he's going to miss the rest of the season.
Ben Davis, is it?
No, the other guy, the Argentinian.
Okay,
Played the centre back.
Yeah.
Not He plays next to Mickey Van der Ven. Can't think of his name now. But
I thought
he's now
I thought Van der Ven played very well.
Van der Ven is a wholehearted player.
I thought he was good.
Yeah, but he's got a few guys around him. I mean, to be honest, I don't have a lot of time for Pedro Porro. I think he's a poor defender, and
Yeah.
I think that like I'm saying, so the captain of Tottenham has now got a knee injury, and he is done for the rest of the season. But he'd be fit in time for the World Cup.
Yeah, yeah. So
Tell me
just before we finish, we want your
what does that look like?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like he's having a bit of a break, getting ready for the Argentinian team.
Right.
Okay, tomorrow night, Atletico Madrid are winning 2-0 against Barcelona. Who will prevail there?
Is it going back to Camp Nou?
Atletico Madrid.
Is it in Madrid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough game for Barcelona. They put a lot into that game, and they did have some opportunities. They were very unfortunate to get the guy sent off.
They played well, but they were down a man, as I said.
I
Liverpool
think
versus PSG.
From
How do you see that going, Darwin? Liverpool to PSG?
PSG.
yeah.
And Wednesday night in
They got too
Arsenal
much pace for
Sporting.
Liverpool.
Huh?
They got too much pace for Liverpool.
They have. And Wednesday, Arsenal and Sporting.
Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't see
Firepower,
Sporting pulling back that.
Yeah.
And Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid 2-1. That could go anywhere.
That's either way, isn't it? That one.
But you know what? Bayern Munich looked awful good against Real Madrid last week.
They did, but Madrid came into the game again very strongly, you know.
Yeah.
In the last quarter, I think they owned the match. They were very unlucky not to get a draw out of that, in my opinion. But I think Madrid will prevail.
No. It'll make for a good game. That's for sure.
I think Madrid, Sporting, PSG, and Atletico Madrid.
I can't see Sporting, but I can't see Sporting winning.
No, they don't have that much quality, but you never know.
That was the other thing about that Arsenal game on the weekend. Did you notice how they took a different tactic to the corners?
No.
They didn't bombard into the centre, the goal. They kind of changed it around, they haven't done that all season, have they?
Right.
They've just smashed it into the goalkeeper every time, haven't they? But
Before we finish,
I wonder when Tiger Woods will show up. Could be any minute now.
Stay back, security's coming.
Was that hole in one?
out of bounds, I think.
Yeah. Or was that the longest drive?
I was going to say it's his worst drive. It wasn't his worst drive, was it?
Yeah.
We've come to the end of another show. That's great plastic. And half time in the Man United Leeds match, Leeds 2, Man United 0 at Old Trafford, and it's anyway. There you go.
That's a 3-2 win, United. Then
There you go.
Okay. You heard it here first. So until we meet again, lads, from Derwin and Joe and myself, till we meet again. Take care, lads. Have a good week.
Take care, lads.
See ya.
Bye.